What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Third and Longhorn, and we're in a bye week this week. So this, we figured we'd still give the people some content, some content out there
to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So if you haven't, subscribe. We appreciate everybody that has already. If you haven't, please do that. Please comment, throw your questions in, start your early predictions for Georgia. But we have Texas sitting at 7-2. 4-1 in conference. We're almost where we want to be, and dare I say that Alex Okafor kind of has the season predicted so far. I think
He was accurate.
but
It's a good thing he doesn't watch.
yeah, exactly.
He wasn't most accurate.
He's never seen an episode.
Actually, Nick, maybe you should introduce some of your co-hosts.
I was good. Let me get to it. But I am joined by Lifetime Longhorns Jeremy Hills, Fozzy Whittaker, Rod Babers, not Mark Higgins. Correct. Nick Shuley. I'm Nick Shuley. And I'm Nick Shuley. Yeah. Just in case anyone was wondering. Stat boy. Yes, stat boy.
No,
I thought we lost it.
No, I'm not. Listen,
Oh, man, it had died, Fozzy.
we are
Thanks so
not.
much.
We are not calling Nick Stat Boy any longer. Okay.
How was it?
Because I threw out one stat in honor of your birthday, and everybody, I guess a couple of the opposing fans were like, "You tell Stat Boy," and they were like,
Yeah,
"OU."
yeah.
It was like OU fans because I was saying
doing
the
it.
defense was overrated.
Right.
Was I wrong?
Rod, we're cutting it. We're cutting it here. He is no longer Stat Boy. Like I tell my
What am I?
kids, we don't bully and we don't get bullied.
Damn
And
right.
calling him Stat Boy is a form of bullying.
There you go.
We are not calling him Stat Boy any longer.
Hills is like Rod Stat Boy.
That's fifth ward Nick. That's fifth ward Nick.
Yeah, I'll take fifth or Nick. I don't know. about-
back,
Okay.
baby.
All right. Well, before we kind of get into the bye week part of it, I want to give everybody a chance. I know Hills was here. It was the Hills Brothers show after the game. It was pretty great.
Tony didn't go on a rant either.
I gotta go back
did-
and listen to that one. Then.
Tony did great. He was very
Yeah.
tame.
You know, he'll
Great job.
He
he'll
ranted on OTF with us.
Yeah, he referred to that.
He'll go full Kanye if you let him. You gotta watch that guy.
Well, Hills, since you already did it, I'm gonna let Rod go first. Rod, give us your quick thoughts on the Vanderbilt win.
Oh man, what a great win! I thought it was. I know a lot of Longhorn fans upset, and especially want to talk about the secondary, which we can do. We can talk about the secondary a little bit later. But I want to focus on the positive because usually I kind of start with the negative. The positive, I just love that the offense had carryover from one game to the next. We had not seen any carryover from this team from one game to the next. We saw it from that fourth quarter, that Mississippi State game, to this Vanderbilt game. And dare I say it, I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood. I think they found a formula. Maybe not an identity, but a recipe, right? And Sark has modified this offense, guys. I went and looked at first 5 games. You may compare the first 5 games to the last 4 games. You basically increased your screens. You've doubled your screens, the amount of screens. You basically doubled the amount of throws behind the line of scrimmage. And you've basically decreased your deep balls. Right. You cut them in half. So, he's modified the offense. Arch had his fastest time to throw of the season, 2.5 seconds. Ball out of his hands really fast. That helped you insulate the pass protection. Great job by the coaches finding a solution on the offensive line. Cole Hudson at guard, Connor Robertson at center. Looks like that worked. You allowed 0 sacks, only 6 pressures. That was a top 25 team in terms of tackles for loss and sacks. So they were good at generating pressure, but not against Texas. The ball was out quickly. Sark played the hits. How many times did we see that RPO quick screen to the outside to our receiver? Over and over, man. Play the hits. If they can't stop it, just keep running it. Who cares? And he did that. He played the hits. So I thought for Sark, it was a fantastic game plan. So they ran with a lot of 11 personnel. I mean, listen, I'm not against 12 personnel. I love it. But the truth is, they're not good in 12 personnel. You're averaging less than 4.5 yards per play out of 12 personnel. Just ditch it, which is what they did. They went 75% 11 personnel if you include the niblet package. That's also part of the formula. Tempo. Sark said it before the game. We're going to use more of it to try to, I think he was trying to extract. Remember I talked about crisis mode last time on the show? He's trying to extract some of the things out of crisis mode that made them so good. They're always in 11 personnel. They go up tempo. I'm not going to say they abandon the running game, but essentially they do. And now they lead with the passing game. Go look at that game, and they're throwing first. He's got that Michigan game plan. They throw first. The running game is a complement to the passing game, guys. Yeah. And 11 personnel should lead because the wide receivers are your most talented group on offense. Sorry, it is. All right, you really need to showcase that group and weaponize it. And part of that is the yak is back too. He had 250 yak yards in that game. They hadn't had over 103 yak yards all season long. But in the last 2 games, 201, 250 yak yards. 65% of Arch's passing yards last 2 weeks have been on yak plays, baby. Yards after the catch. Easy completions. Also part of the formula. Easy, simple completions, whether it be screens, throws behind the line of scrimmage. So I don't know exactly. I hope Sark doesn't, move away from it or deviate from it. But I think they have found something. There are like 5 or 6 things that they're using right now in the last 2 weeks to carry over that I think they do really well. They can hang their head on that forms an identity. So that's what I took about it. There's a lot of stuff we'll get into about the game, but to me, the offense, and look at how confident Arch looks with the wide receiver group and how really just how in sync, the synchronicity now. With all the offense. Everybody's executing at a higher level. O-line, like there are some perfect reps out there now where everybody almost had a perfect rep. We talking about the O-line, the wide receivers, and Arch. So I'm hoping that carries over. It really looked good. It's the best the offense has looked all season.
Right, man. That was the Mona Lisa.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah, that's a stat man. Right?
That's ain't no stat boy. Stat god.
Look, the stat god.
Look. No, Rod, because man, perfect. Do you believe that there was a multitude of pieces that all played into just this perfect picture that we are now seeing? Players getting back healthy, moving players into the right spot, like you just said, and then not even, I don't want to say abandoning some things and doing. It's just figuring out what works for us,
emphasizing certain elements.
I think what we forget is that we've had consistency at the top dog spot in the game of football, which is quarterback. So every year that we've had Quinn, even if we had to move other pieces and replace others, we knew what we were going to do and we knew what this guy does well, so we could game plan around it. And from my POV, I'm curious what you think. You too, Nick. I'm curious if you is it a matter of what we believe going into the season 16 was going to do well and what would fit him and what he was good at and comfortable with and how he processed versus how he actually plays, what he does well, what fits him and how he processes. And now is that why we're finally seeing the carryover, is that we're getting to see him with time, with healthy players, finding something he's comfortable with. And now we're growing, building on that, or is this just hell, it worked last week, let's try it again?
What's your Ray Orton quote? You always say?
It is that life and football are constant struggles, deciding between what we want to be in order to thrive and what we need to be in order to survive. And I do think that's a big part of it, Sark. I think this is what they need to be.
He thought this was going to be deep ball Manning,
chunked it. Yes. And they were, but the O-line couldn't necessarily hold up for you. Averaging at one point they was averaging only 3.2 seconds was his average time to throw, which was was one of the longest times to throw in the country. It was top 15. But now you're getting the ball out quickly. Look how that helps your offensive line. And then they took some shots downfield, right? They got some downfield throws, but you set them up with some easy completions. Got Arch into a rhythm. So I think you're right. I think it's a combination of two. I think Sark is humble enough to realize, all right, you know what? It is not what I envisioned, but you know what? It's effective. And that's what we're going to do. And then leaning on the strengths of your players and the strengths of your team. They want to be able to run the football. I'm sure they want to be able to run the football and have a balanced attack. They can't run the football really well. But when they open up with the pass and you force a team to have to defend that passing game, what does it do? Light boxes, open up the run game, right? So I think they got to lead with the pass. Now, whether that works versus Georgia, that's a different conversation.
Those linebackers are.
Let me add in though. I do believe, to your point about, and both of you all's point about where the offense and the idea of where they were supposed to be, quote unquote, by what Sark envisioned them to be at the beginning of the season. I think back on my time, 2014, my first year with the Carolina Panthers, our season was so up and down, bro. We was losing, we win one, lose one, inconsistent, had the injuries. And at the beginning of the year, Ron Rivera mentioned, was like, hey, we had just won the NFC South last year. Nothing carried over. It's new faces, but at the same time, it's a lot of the still the same core nucleus of guys, but something else needed to spark an identity in who we wanted to be throughout the course of the season. And typically that has to come from a player rather than the coach saying, hey, I know what y'all can be. I understand what y'all can be, but y'all have to go out there and prove it and believe in it. And yes, obviously the game plan changed, but there was something that clicked for us in 2014 where it was like, man, We got our butts toe up in Minnesota, bro. It was the last game of November. I remember because it was -7 degrees. Coldest game I ever played. And this was whenever the Minnesota, their stadium, they were outside, right? And we had to go play at University of Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, outdoors in Minnesota, first, like right before you get to December. It was cold. And we lost, obviously. We lost. But that was like the come to Jesus moment where it was like, okay, we got everything in front of us. We need to win out, which is not easy, especially in the NFL, but we need to win out if we want to win the division, which would secure us and guarantee us a spot in the playoffs. Yeah. And it's something clicked, bro. The identity of the team changed because Cam said, bro, this is what we're going to do. TD, Thomas Davis, the leader on the defensive side, say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then they had everybody following along. I'm starting to see that progress through this team where they've gone through those trials and tribulations. Somebody stepped up. I don't know who it was. It could have been Arch. It could have been Taft. It could have been Cam Lemons. It could have been Niblett. It could have been, who knows, Anthony Hill. Yeah. Like, I don't know which one of them stepped up. But somebody said something, and the team got behind those somebodies. And now we're starting to see that culminate with the close wins, with the demonstrative start to the game that they had against Vanderbilt. Yeah. In the way that they are not giving up and fighting and playing for everything. And you talk about the yak that was put on display this past week. You can call all those short plays, but if you don't make people miss, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to have a 2-yard gain. Yeah. And then now what? Yep. Now you got 2-yard gains, 3rd and 6.
Look at Wings. You look at Wingo's like you look at him against Mississippi State. You look at him against Vanderbilt.
Make a miss.
There were players there.
Yeah.
Vandy outnumbered them, actually, on that
multiple times.
Vandy outnumbered them.
Vandy had
the numbers
that they wanted to have in space. Yep. And Texas said it doesn't matter.
So I got a question.
Same play?
I got a question for you specifically, basically, because I'm listening to what you was just saying about your time in Carolina when you 2014. And I'm hearing, what's the similarities? Texas just went on a month-long road journey. Yeah, man. The forest of the SEC.
Yeah.
Right?
Darkness. No Texas team had done that until I think the 40s or something like that. Right? The last time a Texas team went on the road straight that long.
For that long.
I'm thinking, and y'all know, like I know, the feeling of us versus the world.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm thinking about how you just said y'all went up to Minnesota, and it was something that clicked there. So is it a part of this journey of this 2025 team that has now gone through that and knows like we went through that, we're still standing here with everything still in front of us.
Absolutely.
Like we talked about something clicked. What is something? What is that? What
it's the realization that they can play better than what they've shown earlier in the season. And then relying and trusting more on your teammates to be able to make the plays that maybe, hey, I was pressing in some of these instances because I thought I needed to make the play for both of us. Now I don't necessarily have to press. I can give you a pass 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage because what I believe is what you've already shown is that you're going to make a guy miss and it's going to turn into an explosive play. And hell, it might be a 75-yard touchdown.
Right.
So I think I'm starting to see that aspect unfold of the trust between these two players or this team, especially on the offensive and the defensive side of the ball, how they haven't clamored at each other, knowing the defense has been holding it down,
right? And
they haven't turned on each other. It's a microcosm of offense believing in offense, offense believing in defense, defense believing in their own defensive players. Because how many guys had to step up?
That's
the injuries that we've seen.
Right, late.
Yeah. How many guys had to come in and fill in for those certain spots? So the defense got to reinforce their own self, and then the team has to reinforce itself. Special teams, right? You miss a kick, don't matter. Somebody came right to Mason Shift.
Go make a play,
bro. We got you.
Yeah.
All right. And then Nib, go make a play. Right. It hasn't been perfect by any means.
But they got each other.
Whenever Texas has
got each other's back though,
or whenever they won.
You're right.
But they have each other's back,
Right.
and I think that click of realization brought that team closer together. Of saying, hey, it's all we got. It is all or nothing, and it is us against the world. But at the same time, we got to believe that and really entrust in our minds and bodies and our preparation that whenever this opportunity presents itself, that guy is going to make the play or I'm going to make the play that I'm supposed to and it helps feed off of each other's energy.
Shout out to Colin Simmons, who a couple of weeks ago
Yeah, I
had the
love that
offenses
interview.
back that
I
time.
love that interview.
But
And,
this
and
now-
you repeat that.
Yeah,
And that's
so now people are trying to get on the defense.
Yeah.
And now the offense
And
is
offense like, no, hold on.
because it is like you said, they got each other back though, and that was before we've seen this
Exactly.
revitalization of the offense.
How much of this is just seeing the ball go in?
Yeah. See,
Like,
go good
remember
move. Yeah.
early in the season, you just said something just like, and I was like, damn, you're right. You talking about pressing, and I got to make this play. You could feel that.
Feel it.
From
We were
game
trying to make
one.
sacks.
Yeah.
We were
From
trying to
Ohio State, they said
All
Colin
right.
Simmons is off to a slow start.
Right.
The Texas offense isn't clicking.
Correct.
Is Ryan Wego the true number one?
Yeah.
Did we crown Arch too early? Does this Sark offense work for this group? Do they have a running game? What are they gonna do without CJ Baxter? You just heard all the offensive line came. You just heard all of these different things, right?
Everything.
And I'm wondering because these are the same humans.
Yeah.
They
These are the
they
same
physically changed.
exact people, right? So I'm like, how much of this is just we seen the ball go through the hoop, we've gone through some stuff together, and then we found that when we played free, we are who we thought we were.
Man,
Exactly.
And now we just
Now
shut
everybody
it
else
up,
get to see it.
played football,
now we see it.
and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Colin Simmons. When the last time Texas hasn't had a defensive lineman win co-defensive lineman of the week?
Yeah.
Like
it's
at
crazy.
PC, like Ethan Burke is going crazy.
Yes, it's right. Physical.
Like you know what I mean. So I'm almost wondering like, man, like, damn, how can this be the same team?
Yeah.
How can these be the same people? The ones where you're like, we can't complete a slant. Actually, back-to-back 300-yard passing games.
Right.
Like it's like, man, we can't do X. We can't do. Actually, there is Ryan Wingo and them actually 75 yards crib.
Right.
You're like,
He should have said records. He had a couple of drops a couple of weeks ago. He should have been like at 250.
Right.
So I'm looking at this team and I'm like, all right. The question to the group: who are we?
Because the
we've
real
seen
Texas
both.
stand up. Yeah.
We've seen
Yeah.
both, and I think some of Texas fans' frustration has been feeling like, based off of what we know and have seen, this is what they should be versus what they've shown, and now showing what we believe they should have been. It's all right. So what should Texas fans expect?
Let me add one thing to this, because Sark always says this. Every year he's coached, he says it is he wants to peak towards the end of the season. So he wants his team playing the best ball now.
Yeah.
Like November and December, that first week, everybody want to play in the first week of December, because I mean, he's playing for a conference championship. But this month right now is when Sark wants his team playing his best ball. Now, you don't want to lose 2 games on the way to that.
Right.
But at the same time, if you hitting your peak when you supposed to hit your peak, you become that dangerous team, and everybody takes notice. It's like, oh snap! This is different.
That question of who we are, I think that's what's got people so befuddled, right? Like you have that OU game where you're like, okay, this team, we knew we could play, and this team took care of business that game. Then you show up for Kentucky and just play one. I mean, the defense played lights out, but one of the worst games we've seen offensive. Maybe, I don't know which was worse, Florida or that, but just a rough game. Mississippi State, same thing, carries over just like a hangover. But then all of a sudden, with 9:42 left in the fourth quarter,
Down by two touchdowns.
They get Mississippi State gets a stupid penalty. We come back, score, and then that started this. And so is it like, is that who we are now? Right? Like we've carried it over partially, right? Like it was one quarter and then four. I'll give them 4 quarters because the offense did fine in the fourth quarter of that game. Like they got hosed on that one call to Mosley and missed the field goal, but they did a good job on that drive moving down.
Oh yeah, they wasted like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a great drive.
That's exactly
Great drive. And so the offense did what they needed to do. But like, is it? And so here's the other question to that: is it a bad time for us to have like injuries independent of the injuries? Is it a bad time to have a bye week?
I mean, I think that's.
Injuries answer that question.
We got to injury. You can't. We got.
Yeah.
It's hard. Injuries answer the question, right?
Yeah.
But like, I get where you're going with that.
Yeah. Because we start to
we're
catch
gonna,
fire.
We're gonna find out about our maturity level.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out about our maturity level. Because to Fozzy's point, I 1000% agree. I'd much rather be playing my best ball now than playing it in September. Now, you know, if you could call it Ohio State or Indiana, somebody that's been playing really good ball and is seemingly getting better week over week, you would absolutely love that to be the case, right?
We love to see them in a good matchup. So, anyways, go ahead.
But you know, looking at what we've seen, I'm looking at this team and I'm like, all right, like can I, as a Texas fan, count on what I've seen the last 5 quarters?
Pretty much, yeah.
Can I count on that as what should be rolled out, win, lose, or draw, independent of the scoreboard?
Yeah.
Is that what I can expect from this team? We've never questioned their willingness to fight.
Oh, they're hard.
One thing I love about this
Definitely.
team is that, like, I know no matter what, they're gonna go in that alley and they're gonna swing.
Yeah.
They've proven that every single game, right? We never question that. We've questioned
Their
you know,
technique.
technique. We
What
question
weapons you using when you out there
we
now?
question execution.
Why'd you jab when you
Yeah.
said hook?
Yeah.
Or why didn't you lean left when you
Throw
said
the hook, man. Throw the hook. Fight, man. But no, my point is like the last 5 quarters, it's been the junkyard dog attitude meets the 5-star talent.
Yeah.
Right. It's been that, and it's looked amazing. Right. So it's like, is that what's rolling into Athens?
But that's what I like though, is that experience. You got your butts kicked in Florida, right? You didn't look at all good in Kentucky, and then you said, hey, we're gonna figure out how to win. And then you didn't look good against Mississippi State.
For 3 quarters.
For 3 quarters, and you did what you needed to win. Is this finally a Texas team that's like good, that understands how to win on the road? And look, Georgia's gonna be a monster.
To Fozzy's point, though, something happened, and maybe
Yeah.
behind the scenes, we'll
Yeah.
figure out what it is. There was something, whether it was on the sideline of that Mississippi State game, I have no idea.
A Bo Davis on the bus.
Yeah. Like something happened.
But when, I mean, you guys have kids, right? I just got one. Kids said,
I just got one. Like,
It up at HEB.
she's
Just
2
got
now.
one.
She's 2 now.
They waiting on him to go and say it.
Amazon is so quick.
you know, they was out of order.
No, but when your kids leave home, it's kind of the point I want to get to. It's all about maturity, right? Whether they're going to college or whether they're going to school, like you expect them, like, hey, I need you to make some good decisions when you're out there, right? Reflect the home training that we've given you, and that Texas team, like, that's what I think they gained with that road trip. I think that was maturity.
They
Like,
grew up, yeah.
They seem like they grew up. I think the team that came back to DKR for Vanderbilt game was a very different team
I agree.
that left. Like that when your kids go off to college and they come back, you're like, hey, they look different. Like this team, I think, had that maturity factor. So I expect, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I expect to see the same thing or the growth that we've seen over the last 5 quarters or so. I expect to see that versus Georgia because they know what's on the line now.
And I look at it just what you said, but I look at it just a little bit different. I don't look at it as sending our kids to college. I look at it, look, this is we're in the Mongolian culture from the 1600s. Like, we sent them to the woods.
Threw 'em out.
Seen with
The Jordan
beer.
Like good luck. Like on 300.
Yeah, like, bro came back with a boar.
Carrying on like
With a boar.
Like,
He got a patched up arrow wound from
talk about
another
the Lord of the
tribe.
Flies here when they were on the island by themselves.
He left.
Bison hide
I'm
on
telling
his
you,
back. He got a
when
new
this
jacket.
Texas team left, they were like, Dad, you think I can do it? When they came back, they like, go this way. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, this team feels like they've done right.
I feel like that
It feels like, even though maybe to us it wasn't pretty, it was not what we wanted to see. They went to the deepest parts of themselves and came back with wins every time.
Yeah.
Every single time. Overtime. Kentucky, 4th and 1 on the 1.
Yeah, gotta have.
Man,
You
gotta
gotta-
have that defense
4th
was
and 1
worn
on
out,
the
too.
1.
Gotta have it.
Gotta
Gotta
have
have
it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, name a time over the past month and a half, when we had to have it and didn't get it. Now I want it to be more efficient.
Right.
I want it to.
Don't put us in that where they get to the first.
And I'm saying, obviously that's what we're working towards to get there. But man, when you look at like what they've proven, like if you are what your resume says you are, then one thing I can count on is, listen, you're gonna fight to the very end. You're gonna fight to the very end. You're gonna figure out a way to get it done. You're gonna figure out a way to get it done.
But I got a question for you guys, because I think that our fan base has this theory and this dream of the perfect game, right? Like Texas, this team's going to play the perfect game.
Yeah.
We always say 4 quarters, right? When's this team going to
That's
put
the
4
goal.
quarters together?
That's the
Right.
goal.
It's a goal. but go watch other college football games.
No.
Like nobody out there's
Ohio State's doing it. That's about it.
I was about to say. I was about to
There's
say.
few and far between.
It's like
There's a handful of schools, guys, and
But their Ohio State's first quarters usually super slow. They're not. It's not impressive. They're down 3-0 or whatever it is.
You
And then
perfect
they come
game
back.
against FCS.
the toughest part is that without watching an Ohio State and I don't want to. I'm not Ohio State, Texas, Ohio State.
Yeah.
But without watching an Ohio State football game, I can probably give you this is how it went. It came out. It was a little tighter in the first quarter than what you imagined it being. Insert opponent.
Feeling out
Doesn't really
finals.
matter. And then as it went into halftime, Ohio State went in with a decent lead. Let's call it anywhere 7 to 10 points.
Yep.
And then at the end of the third, there was 2 or 3 plays that happened where they made magnificent plays, and all of a sudden they up by 25 plus.
Yeah.
And then they figured out a way to finish the game, and their starters were on.
But that's what I mean is that's technically not a complete game, right? If you come out and you're down 3-0 or you're down 10-0, they've been down at halftime and things like that. I haven't seen, and I do think they're right now the best team in college football. I'm not refuting that, but I also think it's this dream of like perfection. And look, you can hold people to that standard. Obviously that's what you're trying to aspire to.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's, especially for a young team, it is a little bit of a stretch of expectation.
We be honest though, like our Texas fans have kind of that's
what makes them.
they
that's what
show
makes them
up
great.
every year like
That's what makes them great.
Yeah.
Because they always
their-
feel like
their
that.
expectation is
Well, and that's why they say the standard is the standard, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're
Exactly.
trying to play for.
Yeah.
That.
But I think what we don't appreciate enough of is growth. I mean, look, think about this. Right,
Then the fire.
right? Yeah, it's just reps, though. Don't we all get better with reps?
Every time.
Don't we all? The more we do this show together, like we get better as
I
we
could barely talk when we started this thing. I feel like I'm getting better.
No matter what you're doing in life, it helps.
Right?
when you get
Is he getting any better?
It's outstanding.
better. So,
What the numbers say?
Say Higgs.
well, so I think for all of us, we underestimate the amount of reps Archie needed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Wide receivers dealt with health issues early on. Right? DeAndre Moore was injured. Emmett Mosley wasn't available forever. Now those guys are thrown out there. Offensive line dealt with injuries. And now the offensive line injuries actually helped you come to a solution on the O-line.
Yeah.
Right? Because of those injuries. I think now we know the offensive line has to have reps together that helps them get better to play better as a unit. So I do think it's just simply just reps together. Like the guys are getting better the more they play. The more reps they play together in the system, they're getting better. I think that's something we don't, a lot of Longhorn fans don't want to talk about that. But the truth is, as an inexperienced team, I agree with you, Nick. They look like a team that lacked reps and continuity. They did
And
not have any
I think
sequence.
Rod referenced it earlier in the show too about Sark probably thought he had a different team, and so the coaches had to adjust,
we
and they
thought
should
we
be
had a
given
graduate-
tons of credit for
We
what's
thought we had a
happened. last
graduate level team, and then it was like, hey, we got to learn. We got to get there
And
first.
Sark too. I think he's right.
Yeah.
Sark too. Because think about it, they put AJ Milwee in the booth.
Right.
Yeah.
For the Mississippi State game.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet.
That, I think is
made a big
also
difference.
another factor. Throw that into with the solutions as well. That
right.
I think that's Sark's eyes in the sky that may be giving him better solutions and better play calls and better adjustments.
Yeah.
I think that helps. All those
Big time.
that little adjustments, but that's football. Coaches are problem solvers. Go solve the problem. Sometimes it takes them a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, along that,
But
for
he did.
a segue, I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this because there's differing theories about the end of the Vanderbilt game, right? Like, well, you've got probably 3. You got people yelling about the refs, which let's put that one aside. That was partially me. Trust me, I will die on.
You got me yelling about the ref.
I will go on a Rod's rant. We don't need that. Let's put that one on the shelf, right? So here's my question: as that defense, right? Is this a PK got figured out situation, which is like one of the theories I've heard. Fire PK, blah blah, sucks, whatever. That's insane. But also, did they figure us out? We've had the same defensive coordinator for blah 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 blah. Like that. That's that argument. Or is it the hey? By the way, that was our 3rd string and 5th string safety, and we had 3 true freshmen on the field at the end of the game because of injuries and moving things around.
I don't think we had a starting.
But
Ding ding ding.
But I'm asking, and I don't know the answer, right? But like
The latter.
I mean, that's my gut.
And I would like to throw something out there, man.
It's not PK being broken.
Like we were, and this is just a part of the game. So this ain't no excuse. This is just facts, a part of the game. We spent the last how long on the road?
42 days.
Yeah, 4 games. Yeah,
42 days. Yeah.
more than a month and a half.
The hardship that comes with travel, playing on the road, in back-to-back overtime games
Back to back.
with the defense on the field.
Up-tempo offense, too.
It's the same amount of snaps
those
in
games.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in that Kentucky
Right.
game,
So,
insane.
and now sprinkle in exactly what you said of like, we are playing, we deep into the depth chart now. We are having guys that these are some of their first reps of the season. We are having guys that are trying, like, hey, no, it is not acceptable to have 21 points given up in the fourth quarter.
Right.
The one that really gets you is the
Stowers,
65
the 60,
yard. Like,
That was a busted coverage. No, there's no excuse for that. I don't.
Right.
That's
Right.
the one that really.
that's the one that really gets you. The one that really hurts right outside. That's 1A.
They needed a quick score. The only way they could get back in it was a quick
Yeah.
score.
The 4th and 19 is 1B if that touchdown is like those hurt.
I don't know if
right?
you watched that, but I think that was Phil. Wasn't it Phil Simmons? You could tell his shoulder like he
Yeah,
dropped an
he
half.
dropped.
He lost like
Tackle.
yeah, something happened. But anyway,
I'm saying what we got there on the defensive side from my perspective, Rod, I'm curious about yours, is you got the perfect storm here. We get this up-tempo offense. We get an efficient offense, right? Backdoor after them.
Yep.
Right on the back of this long road streak, these overtime defensive dominated on the field games.
yeah,
With injuries to the defense deep in the depth chart. I'm like, this is the perfect scenario for we gave up some points.
Yep.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I'm almost like, I feel very similar to what I felt in the beginning of the year, where I was saying, man, let me judge this offense when we get the starters out there. Let me judge this offense when QB1 gets a little bit more time to throw. Like, let me judge it then before I just rush to judgment. Now I'm looking at this defense, and I refuse to ignore what y'all looked like, rested, healthy with
right.
depth. I refuse to ignore that.
Yeah.
I also acknowledge what I'm seeing now.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm almost like, let me see what 2 weeks of rest.
Tap
With
that.
Taft, with some of the guys
You
coming
take
back.
Taft and McDonald or the equivalent off of any other team, it's not going to look
You're
good.
down
Like,
two
those-
starters
those
in
are-
your secondary.
Those are two incredible football players.
Let me just see, like, so before
You had Jonah Williams
we
on the
jump
field.
on
Nothing
the
against Jonah,
defense-
but he's barely played.
Yeah, before we jump on the defense, I'm more so like, let me hold off for a second.
So you're not going to fire PK?
No, I don't think I'm
Hold
gonna
on
fire
for a sec. All right.
Don't
Well,
think
we
I'm gonna fire
we managed to keep
Fourth-
Sark
fourth and
through,
19
you know,
is-
through
it's
throughout.
acceptable, though.
We held on
I'm
and
still
didn't let
upset.
Fuzz right
didn't
now.
let everybody fire Sark or cut art. So we're holding on.
If there are 2 plays in one drive that makes you pull your hair, it's the 65-yard bomb that's just
Stowers. To their best offensive weapon. By the way.
yeah.
He's so
Cover
good, by
two.
the way.
Are
It
you
was
now?
tough too. They went in.
Are you worried
Yeah.
about calling cover 2 in that instance when you know they got to score quick?
Whose assignment was that, by the way? Was
Just-
that Jalen?
No,
or
the
was
coverage adjustments, but it seemed to me, because it looked like cover 2 to me,
Exactly.
that the corner shit, when number 2 goes
Because
vertical.
you can see Gilbo.
Yeah,
like,
when you get 4 verse like that, you read number 2 goes vertical, you carry number 1 to help your safety out so he's not too conflicted.
Right, that's what I was
So you carry that guy.
Yeah.
At least to hell.
Yeah, at least to help out. And by the way, there was no threat in the flat.
that's true.
No, the running
I
back.
heard you say that.
That's the part that
To your
bothered
point,
me. most.
yes, but Gilbo still would have been in a trail position.
He would have been in trail position because he would have been
With-
carrying
exactly.
trail. So it was
But like, let's call it
tackle.
this though. Let's call it this. Let's call it a 30-yard completion.
But I will say this.
That's
Yeah,
what you hope.
especially with a tight end. with
You don't
think that-
typically see corners 30 yards downfield in cover 2, though.
No, I'm not
You
disagreeing.
don't, but I would say go watch K. Phillips on the other side. Go watch.
Oh, that's true.
He plays it like cover 4.
That's true.
Exactly.
He basically said because I think
He just kept
situationally,
belling.
when if I'm looking at the situation,
Right,
my coach called cover 2 in the situation, I'm gonna be like, psh, and I don't have a
In
number
this
2,
moment?
and the running back is away.
Running back away, number 2.
So you don't have
Number 2 goes.
Ain't nothing in my flats.
I would have played it a little deeper.
Yeah.
I would have played a little
Because
deeper.
what's the
and that's
harm?
exactly what K. Phillips did. He played it.
What's-
Go watch K. Phillips played like his quarters almost.
What's the harm?
He
What's
He
the
just kept
harm?
sinking.
What's the harm in playing it deeper?
Because if they completed underneath, we could
Come up and
tackle. Like,
Come up and tackle.
we ain't giving nothing cheap because the only way they get back into it is a cheap, easy score.
Yeah.
And what did they give up? A cheap,
no
easy score.
The one thing we just wanted them to have a drive that took some time off the clock, even if they scored.
It's so funny. I'm
Bang.
sitting there talking to my brother, and mind you, we getting ready to eat some good Pluckers wings. Drive is about to start, and I said, he's like, man, what you do here? You bring somebody? I said, to be honest, I like how we've been playing with this.
Agreed.
I'm gonna make Vanderbilt prove they can go 10 plays down
They
this
can
field
go, yeah.
because so far they've not been able to do it.
Yeah.
They've done it once before half. 6 minutes, 51 seconds, touchdown drive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I don't think they want to take 6 minutes.
They also scored in cover 2 right before the half.
Exactly.
It was a
Same exact. Yeah.
cover.
And that's when that was,
Same exact.
Headman was a little too old at that. We come out of a break. We talking about this.
Come on,
Ain't no way we do this, but like
Also to their best player.
Yeah.
The best receiver.
That guy's good. Well, let's. I mean, this was awesome, but let's move on to the bye week part of this, right?
Can I
Like-
say one thing real quick?
yeah, please.
There is not a blueprint on how to beat PK's defense, but there are things you can do. Right? They rolled the pocket. You saw how many times they rolled the pocket?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that 4th and 19, what they do? They rolled the pocket.
The mini roll.
Hell of a block by Cedric.
Rose.
Oh my God.
Did you see that block?
Laid him
I meant to text you about that.
Oh my
That was an amazing block.
I was at my house. I was
Bang!
How did you see that? Seen Anthony Hill get hit like
I ain't gonna lie, he hit that boy. I looked at my brother and just I threatened him. If you ever. And she's like,
don't you dare.
it was like, what? I was like, if you ever.
it was.
Ain't no way you should be out there hitting nobody like that.
It was like CD watching Deron Bland get burned. He's like,
Yeah.
So my point is you're gonna see the rollout.
Yeah.
Against Georgia because the other side can run. You're going to see crossing routes, right? Because Kentucky and Mississippi State, they were really good at crossing routes. You're going to see the tight end. You know how many targets they've had the tight ends in the last 3 games? 31 targets to tight end, 15 first downs to tight ends. The last.
and Georgia has good.
And Georgia got good tight
ends.
ends. So there are some things. Quick game.
Yeah,
Quick game. Our corners don't read the quick game. They react to it. So they just throw the easy quick game with 5-6 yards. So there are some things that are out now 3/4 through the season that work against Texas. But I don't think that's a PK thing. PK is awesome.
Yeah,
It's just
totally.
Yeah.
That's good. Georgia's defense.
No defense is perfect. So every
looks
defense has
different
flaws.
also.
Yeah. Oh yes, no doubt.
Yeah,
Georgia defense looks a little different this year.
It's very. He's right about that. Very good.
yeah. Well, and I told y'all that the funny thing, my uncle called me from Washington State, like from Pullman, when we hired PK, and he goes, "Thank you, God, for getting rid of this guy."
have to see it
because
anymore.
like he was sick. I mean, granted, before
have to
Washington
see
State
it.
got moved out of the Pac-10 went away.
Nightmare, huh?
But like he was just saying, like he ruined like for years. He caused so much havoc with UW. So anyway, all right. Well, let's get to the bye week and let's talk about 1, what does this bye week look like? 2, what do you need to work on going into the Georgia game? And not necessarily previewing the Georgia game, just what do you do with your time this week? What do you
Get healthy.
healthy besides that?
Rest.
That's the first we know that
Pass
one.
defense.
Yeah.
Pass defense. You need to work on pass defense. You are, I believe, you're at in the 90s in total pass defense. If you look at plays allowed of 10+ yards via the pass, you're outside the top 100. Actually, I think you're in the 70s when you give up 20+ yard pass plays allowed. So what I think and a lot of that, of course, could be attributed to Michael Tapp.
That's what I was gonna ask,
Injuries. Trust me, that Vanderbilt game, he gave us some deep passes. But I think they got to play a little bit stickier in coverage. And remember, Sark dropped a little nugget. He said they played so many corners, not only because they wanted, obviously, to guys to be fresher and they wanted to expand rotation. He opened up the competition at the other corner.
There you go.
He threw that in there like, oh. So they are obviously not
And they
necessarily.
liked how Cade was playing last game.
Cade was out there. They liked Cade Phillips,
Right.
right?
His thing.
Yeah, so I think they got some things they got to tinker with in the secondary, and I think the bye week is a great time for it. Getting Michael Taft back will be a huge.
I was gonna say, like, to that point, bro, like I didn't really think about one of the hottest teams in the NFL has been the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh yeah,
Torching everybody.
hey Wildin', yeah man.
Pittsburgh Steelers moved Jalen Ramsey to safety this past week.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I was just seeing Danny Dimes hold the
He had
ball
to hold
a
on
little
to.
bit longer.
Yep.
And I've seen that Pittsburgh defense force 6 turnovers and come away with a win.
Yeah.
That was New York Giants Danny Dimes.
The same job.
I didn't realize, Michael Taft, sir, I apologize. I knew I'm familiar with your game, but I didn't give it the credit it deserved.
Yeah.
He must be an eraser on that back.
Yeah, absolutely.
He must be a pure.
Did you watch him on the sideline, dude? Just the stuff that guy knows, and you can see if you look in the background at so many shots.
He's getting guys moved around.
He's screaming.
tapping,
telling
tapping,
you.
but
He's
my
telling
yo,
you.
yo, over there. He would have had Tyree Smith in the right spot on that cover too.
Yeah.
They gave him right before the head.
I was more. It's funny. Like my mama used to always say, you know, when you're gone is when they gonna miss you.
Man,
Okay.
Taft.
And Mr. Taft, sir, I'm telling you, like that boy, he has to be quarterbacking that entire, which I knew, but I guess I did not know how much we needed.
Yeah, that's
Well, you were. I remember who was it we were interviewing that said like they'd already seen Akina and Taft just going at it in like it was in
Oh,
the
yeah.
inning because they were dorking out on some coverage. Was it Gilbo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just talking about how deep in theory they
Oh,
were
yeah.
like getting out.
No, I talked to Kenny. He was like, I can't get rid of. He's following me around. Like he just pop up. I mean, I think I'm getting relaxed. I take my hat off and hang out, and it's after.
He's like at his window.
What about that play we ran the team? He's like, man, come on.
I'm not gonna lie.
Go over that.
That's one of the biggest
wasn't
compliments.
going.
That's one of the biggest compliments a coach can give you.
Absolutely.
I can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
Right.
You know how many of the things there are to do in Austin or like on campus? Like,
that Taft could be doing.
and Tap is at your office.
Hanging out. Talk about some
I
play.
seen your car in the parking lot. I know you here.
Coach get a hide from Taft.
I know you
Put
here.
my car around the corner.
Like, why my text going green?
Here come Debo.
Tuck your chain.
Tuck your chain. Here come Debo.
Nah, he been missed, man. He's
But
been
I,
missed.
I say all that to say, like, we're being funny, but
He's been missed.
I can't wait to get QB1 on the defense back.
Amen, bro.
I can't wait to get him back.
We need him back.
We need him back there, right? He's obviously allowing these guys to play faster. I'm curious, Rod. I'm sure you've looked at it. Just like statistically speaking, who are we with him versus without him this year?
Oh man, I haven't looked at it recently, but if you look at the last two games, I mean, that secondary has seemed like it's in disarray.
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, yeah, and we haven't seen. This is the first time we've seen busted coverages.
That's the
Think
problem.
about
That
it.
hasn't happened.
We haven't even seen busted coverages from the secondary. Busted coverages, that's something I think that Taft's football IQ and his ability to be a massive communicator has kind of kept you out. Even PK said that, like, he keeps us out of a lot of bad plays. Like, he just, like you said, he's a racer. He keeps us out of a lot of bad plays. And there are times where he will kind of infuse himself in certain, he knows the defense so well. He knows the kind of the structural integrity of the defense and where he can insert himself. All right. It's like, actually, they don't necessarily need me in the post. I see this formation. He kicks a lot
Yeah.
Wow.
within
'Cause he
the
knows.
framework of the defense because he knows it so well.
But I also heard someone say that, having Taft in there allows you to weaponize Jelani McDonald more. Like,
so
who's
true.
one of the
He's
stabilized on the field. And then him having to move into the role of leader and leading that defense, that makes a big difference on what he can do and what he can
No doubt.
and how freely he can play.
And I don't know, right? But if he's not there yet, that slows him down.
Because he had
If he's not there yet, that slows.
But even if he's not, I think it slows you down just because you're in a different role, right? Like they're expecting a lot more from you.
But I'm thinking, all right, I'll switch positions and go from my own experience. I remember you when, like, when OG was gone, and it was, we had V McGee, but really just from playbook knowledge and everything, it was you. It kind of slowed because all of a sudden, Fozzy would miss a pass pro or a pickup, and you're like,
hold on now.
it's because you go from solely focused on doing everything you do to help the team to now one of the things you have to do is bring everybody
as a leader, you got to.
like this. So, like, if Jelani's not ready for that part yet, that can slow him down.
It is big.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Let me flip it on the offensive side because I think that's where you were going.
That was
I do want to be able to add in that our offensive line needs good on good competition during this time frame. Right? Get healthy. Obviously, that's the number one priority. But I need to see Colin Simmons repping. I need to see the left tackle, right guard,
Gooseby,
left guard.
Baker.
I need every offensive line that is available repping live. Full speed, not live, like not taken to the ground.
Yeah.
As far as quarterbacks, but
Pass pro.
reps, pass pro, and run game. I need it all. 9-on-7 inside, I need it all because that's what you're gonna see against Georgia.
Yep.
Like you're gonna see all of that.
Be a physical game,
and it's gonna be like you're gonna have to have the mindset that they had at the beginning of Vanderbilt, and you cannot afford to lose the edge that offense had at the beginning of the game. Whenever you go on the road in Athens, they know how hard it is to play on the road. They've done it. It's going to be times 10 whenever you go Saturday night in Athens at Sanford Stadium. Like that's a completely different atmosphere. So I need that offensive line in tune,
Kirby's gonna throw
ready to go. And then you got to be on point with communication. That's probably the most important.
Three things about adding to that, like to Rod's point earlier. It does feel like, that what's been this musical chairs has kind of potentially found a solve, right? Because, I mean, we always talked about it of like, danger, disaster, and I forgot the other thing. But it was another one, right? We talk about pressure on the quarterback, right? Coming from D-gap all in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The one you can't have is down to A guy.
Yeah,
You cannot have that. And what you see with that, because that's what we had for majority of this season, is a reset of the pocket from a scrambling quarterback. Now, we've had an athletic quarterback who's been able to reset the pocket, and that's where you see the plays happening downfield. In the fourth quarter against Florida, in the fourth quarter against Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
You see that pretty often, right? Now, when he had a solid pocket and could stand back there and step up, we got a chance to see that consistently against Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
So I am expecting to see good on good, guard, center, guard,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I need to prove that this is what I believe it is, because if it is, that just made us a better football team. Secondarily, with that as well, moving, a lot of times the center is the one that gives the checks. The center is the one that's doing the communicating. The center is the one that's setting the mic, the ID, and then which sets everything for the offense.
Right.
Having that type of presence as guard, I got an extra communicator, an extra set of eyes, and another center next to him that is also capable of doing the exact same thing. So going on the road, that's a big plus for Texas, right? Having DJ Campbell, who's been playing pretty consistent, good football at the right guard, is a massive plus for Texas, right? So I want to see that.
Yeah.
I have to see that over the next 2 weeks, because we got to bring that going in at this. We just have to. So far, the last 2 times that we faced Georgia, they punched. They wanted to prove you are not tougher than me. You can't handle the pressure I bring. You can't play at this level of speed and aggression. That's what it's felt like when they tried to attack us. Now,
For a quarter.
the second time we played them, we matched that energy.
We came out punching.
We came out punching. We matched that energy, and we made them prove it then.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like the energy was, we'll prove it then.
Yeah.
You know, but that has to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Because if one thing that Kirby has proven is that Georgia has the ability to show up like that all the time.
Yeah.
So like they can consistently
I would say this
show
year they've
up.
shown.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like Kirby said, we hard to kill.
That's a fact.
Hard to
That's a
kill.
fact.
That is often the movie.
No doubt. I 100% agree with that, Nick.
I
This
agree.
year it's felt like it's probably been a chink in the arm or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
they
what I
still
tell
find a way to win.
everybody is this, man. And this is with anybody. Like, I'm not even trying to plug nothing here, Nick. I'm being real. I'm being real. I'm being serious.
Editing this part
Guys,
out.
I'm being serious here. Through the NIL deals that we do with Kane Footwear, it takes me around the country to meet these different players, right?
Mhm.
I'm not BSing. Everybody wants a piece of Texas.
Mhm.
They feel like Texas is America's sweetheart.
Mm.
They feel like Texas gets too much TV time.
With the Dallas Cowboys.
They feel like Texas gets talked about too much on ESPN. They feel like Texas gets the benefit of a doubt that they don't get when it comes to seeding and should they be and shouldn't they be. Players are like, I can't wait to play Texas. Teams that have been traditionally over the last, call it 5-10 years, more consistently ranked ahead of us, still feel like, I can't wait to play Texas. Why does that matter with where I'm going with this? If you think chink in the armor Georgia is who's showing up
Right.
in Athens,
Yeah.
Oh, not right.
Saturday, right.
boy, you got another thing coming. You got another thing.
Remember
coming.
Jalen Walker hadn't played all year long? What was that?
Right. Then he was like, yeah, no, I'm healthy.
I'm healthy right now.
Yeah. My
Hey,
kid.
look, Jalen, one of our guys, see, we was bowling together. Jalen was like, "Oh, I couldn't wait to play Texas." He's like, "I couldn't wait."
Unsolicited information. You ain't even asked him.
We're bowling, sir.
You're from where?
Sir, we're bowling. He got a grin on his face. He's like, oh, "Yeah." I was like, I could. These guys, they that's how they feel. That's genuinely how they
They
feel.
circled that one.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, the attitude has to be. We know what the attitude has to be.
Oh, no question.
That like, who? No Limit Soldiers
Yes.
got a song.
Yeah.
Forget those other guys. I'm
Down
down
with
for
my
my guys. Okay, so
That's the kids pop version.
that's the. So what I'm telling you, like, Texas has to show up with that. It has to be in you. You gotta show up with that, because they're gonna show up and they don't want to beat you. They want to embarrass you.
Yeah.
They genuinely want to embarrass you.
You won a fight earlier this year. That fight was against Oklahoma, and you won the lines of scrimmage, and that's the key. Vandy, you're supposed to win the lines of scrimmage. Even when you played Georgia really well in the SEC title game, you beat them in a lot of ways. I think skill talent wise, you was probably ahead of them in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Your skill talent was
on offense for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even defense, I mean, Makupa laid out the quarterback. Janae Barron was getting pigs all. I mean, you was balling deep and skill wise. You didn't win the lines of scrimmage though. When they needed to run the ball and control the clock, they were to do that. Defensively, we know what they did against that Texas offensive line both times, because you couldn't run the ball at all in either one of those matchups. Yeah. So, to beat Georgia, everybody knows how you do it. It's hard to do.
Right.
You got to win the lines of scrimmage. Which means you got to win the fight.
Yeah, you got to win the fight. Go look at the Bama game. Go look at Bama. When Bama, I don't know everybody loves watching Bama Georgia play, right? And go back and look at that game. Normally, the situational football that you talked about earlier, you're talking about cover 2, situational ball, and why you would drop deeper if it's somebody in the flats back away. That's situational awareness. Normally, the situations is what Georgia is so excellent.
Critical moments.
They are just so good. I tell you, but you go back and look at that Bama game this year, they lost every situation. Every situation they lost it. 4th and 1, they tried to flip out to the scat back where Bama was right there for it. Another time, Bama had to kill the clock in the 4-minute drill, was able to do so, and then Georgia got a bonehead penalty with the guy jumping on the pile. That's just something that's un-Georgia-like. Like, you want to beat them, you got to fight them, you got to punch first, and you got to win situation and be smart. Because I don't believe it's about talent with that game.
No.
It doesn't feel about...
That's a push between you and
Jordan. That game just doesn't feel... Like, now that I've seen it, we're probably going to see it consistently now, but now that we've seen it twice last year, I'm like,
it's not a talent game.
That ain't a talent game.
Yeah.
That ain't about, we got this player, he runs this. None of that. Right. It's a dog fight.
Plus, remember, last year, that SEC championship game, that was in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right? I assume. You're going to campus. You're going on campus to play Georgia. And no one's selling their tickets to that one.
You know where Mercedes-Benz Stadium is?
It's in Atlanta.
Atlanta. I mean, that was a home game.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, but on Kansas,
it's
different.
That's another stadium. That's another stadium. That's another conversation.
In Sanford, though.
I've seen
Sanford going to be
no.
I've seen like 5 games in Sanford.
I've been to Athens.
What they hold? I think they hold 93. It's going to be at least 95.
I knew Athens. We were trying to get DeAndre Swift at the time. I knew Athens was going to be a problem when on the way from Atlanta to Athens, the only thing I seen was one Waffle House. I said, "Oh, they live. They live in Shife out here.
That was the sign.
They live in Shife out here. All I seen was one Waffle House, nothing but trees between Atlanta to Athens.
Well, that's all they got going on.
I was like, oh man, I don't know where I'm headed.
I want us to hold the rest of our thoughts on Georgia, because we are gonna have a show next week. But we got a couple things before we get out of here. I want to talk about the playoff bracket, the rankings that just came out this week. And then I do want to kick it over to Higgs for a second, just to give him a chance to talk, since he hasn't talked at all today. He looked at me like I'm crazy. Maybe he doesn't want to talk. But let's talk about, give me y'all's thoughts. Texas ended up ranked 11th. They're right now the first team out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do we feel about this? What are your thoughts on that? Or is it too early to care?
It's fair.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it is fair. Like, listen, you still control your own fate. I mean, you got 2 top 5 matchups remaining on the schedule.
Yep.
I think it's fair minus Notre Dame. That's my issue.
If you get the player perspective, all of us are going to say we got a chance to prove it.
Yeah.
We go out there, go play Georgia, go beat Arkansas, go beat Texas A&M, and we don't got to worry about nothing.
Yep.
He said play it, Georgia.
That's the player.
Beat Arkansas and beat A&M, though.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying. You go beat Georgia, you go beat Arkansas, you go beat A&M.
I thought you were trying to say something.
What I'm saying, because you mentioned controlling your destiny. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta, if you win, you control your destiny.
Right.
But you got to win.
Got to win.
That's the player perspective.
Yep.
That's what Sark is telling his team. That's what everybody.
Would you not want that though? Absolutely.
Like,
think about it. As a competitor, if I present it to you like, hey, no matter what's happened to this point, none of it matters. Guess
you
what?
gonna win 3 games.
Guess what? You don't gotta worry about nobody else doing nothing. You just gotta
You
win.
control your destiny. You're driving.
You win, you win.
That's like,
And that's in these notes. If you see, Georgia cannot make the SEC championship if Texas A&M and Alabama both win out. So we control where we're going to go. Like, it's in our hands. Let's go.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ole Miss.
That's the player perspective.
Yep.
The media perspective does agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Notre Dame being, I mean,
They have
Obviously-
one quality win over USC.
Yeah.
And they have 2 quality losses
They do.
to A&M and to
Miami.
and
Miami.
To be fair, I know they say the AP poll doesn't necessarily dictate what they do for the CF piece, and Notre Dame being ranked as a 0-2 team in the AP poll still kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I think that is showing itself in the CFP with the benefit of the doubt type of aspect that we're seeing them. Basically, they're being called the best 2-loss team in the country, given the schedule that they've had. I don't necessarily agree with that.
But Texas had at the time 2 top 10 wins, right? Like they're still counting Ohio State's Texas
one
top
quality
10 wins. So.
Correct, and 1 quality loss. But all I'm saying is I don't think it's right from the media perspective.
Yeah.
From the player perspective, go handle your business.
But like, then I ask y'all this though, like, just don't
Is that
shoot
the
the
end of the
messenger.
one?
Don't shoot the messenger.
Uh-oh.
I watched that A&M Notre Dame game. Did y'all?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Y'all watched that game.
Went all the way down to the wire.
You walked out of there with an L, but flip a coin.
Yeah.
Very true.
Flip a coin. Now they got beat playing Miami.
Same. But they also showed the kind of similar type of mindset.
They fight. But so when I'm looking at their losses, I'm looking at people right now are arguing is A&M the best team in the country.
Yeah. They haven't.
There are people that are arguing is now those people. I don't know why they would say something like that. But there are people that are arguing is A&M the best team.
It all depends on how they play versus Sanford this late in the year. So we'll see.
So you got a 1-point loss at home against what some are calling the best team in the country. And then you got a road loss against a top. Is Miami top 15 still?
No.
Top
They're
20.
18.
Okay, you got a top 20 road loss that was competitive, even though it did feel like Miami was like punching down on that one, right? And then if I'm comparing it to Texas, just the resume, I'm looking at Texas, who has a loss to Florida, who is now on their second coach of the season.
They just lost to Georgia by a score.
Florida, who is on their Florida,
I know.
Florida, who is on their second coach of the season.
Yeah.
It don't get
It ain't good.
it don't get much worse. Than
That's it.
You know you're bad.
But see, here's my question: is when the mathing here, we have 2 very high quality wins. Notre Dame has possibly 1. Notre Dame has 2 quality losses. Texas has 1 quality loss.
But that. So with that,
what's
so
more
wait,
important?
so
Quality
wait,
wins or quality
time
losses?
out. You answered your own riddle
whole-
because
But-
if you're looking at this whole thing, that's how you know how bad the Florida loss is.
Yeah, and you also went to overtime with Mississippi State
yeah, I get it.
and Kentucky.
Yeah.
and they are considered to be 2 of the worst teams, if not the worst teams in the SEC. So that's part of it too.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely part of it. But just I'm not. That's 1,000% a part of it.
That's part of
But just going off of the information given, I would look at that. I would look at that equation and say, circle Florida. That's how you got here. Look,
Don't lose that game.
But Notre Dame has better wins.
That's how
like your wins over those Rudy Poot teams, Sam. Those teams were terrible.
Yeah.
Have you watched you jump in Sam Houston?
none of it
State
was
and
pretty.
Sam-
You're right.
So my point, like I think if you look overall, Notre Dame probably has more quality wins overall because
Yeah.
some of your wins are bad. Your Mississippi State wins are bad wins.
I was
Your
surprised.
Kentucky
I don't know
wins
why.
and ugly
surprised,
wins. They're
but
a
I
bad
was-
team.
Who was it? It was it ESPN? They were putting out, they just selected the big brands and then they looked at strength of schedule this far in the season, strength of schedule left in the season. Texas has had the fact check me guys. Higgs might want to fact check this. Texas has had the 42nd strength of schedule to this point in the season, and they have the 7th strength of schedule left.
Remaining, yeah, because they got 2 top 5 matchups.
Right. But so it's like when you look at strength of schedule, if we're agreeing with what ESPN said, then we have the 42nd strength of schedule and 2 losses on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not here to
2
argue.
overtime wins.
I'm more so like Fozzy, like, hey, man, all of that is great and dandy.
It don't even matter.
Like 3 games, dog. Like you win
Texas
your game.
strength of schedule 11th, remaining strength of schedule 5th.
Texas strength of schedule to this point.
11th.
Oh, not bad.
I like 11. I like 11.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Look, Higgs started.
this has been awesome.
I had to look real close because Texas Tech is right below us.
Higgs, do you have anything else before we get out of here? I'm going to give you a second.
if you're not going to reward teams for going on the road and playing a non-conference schedule, then why the hell would you do it?
Yeah, honestly, they're like deterring great matchups.
He's right
That
about that.
stinks. Like,
2026 we play Ohio State. 2027 we're going to Michigan. 29 Notre Dame. 2033 Arizona State. Like, take these games off if they're not going to give you anything for it.
See, a part of it said he does it for the fans, which is right.
Correct,
He
but
does-
not
so
if, what
it
if it's going to keep us out of the playoff?
I know, but he said like, it's a great fan experience to go to those B bloods.
I agree with you, Higgs. I mean, win, lose, or draw. I don't think that a close home loss for if it was Ohio State on the other end and Ohio State was in this exact same shoe as Texas, I don't think you should be punished for like bowing up to go play the best. Or who you believe, like we're trying to set up a top of the top matchup, and then you come out of there with a close loss. You shouldn't be punished.
but you can't tell me though that Texas starts the season. Let's say we don't play Ohio State. We start this season 1 or 2, right? And then so we don't play Ohio State on the schedule. We go through the year. We look like we did, which wasn't great. But then we only lose to Florida. We're a top 10 team.
That's true.
And so you are being penalized for playing that game.
I wouldn't say penalized. You still have to win.
No, I agree with you.
The name of the game is winning. That's why coaches get fired.
Right, but whenever it is, a week or 2 weeks, A&M's got Sanford, right? Like that's not
they
that
have
game,
to win too.
No, I agree, but it's way different.
Yeah.
Like that's way different scheduling that game versus that. You're getting a
get it.
free win versus a like.
I'm gonna go
Hey,
back to the,
ain't
to
no
the
free
player
wins.
in competitive.
Ain't no free
That's
wins.
what I'm saying.
98% of the time.
I'm gonna go back to the player and the competitor.
Yeah.
If any of college football athletes right now would rather go play Sanford than Ohio State, that's on them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially if you are supposed to be a top dog program
The standards,
and you call yourself one of the best in the country,
you ain't scared.
then that's on them.
You ain't scared.
But remember, this thing is about money. I mean, that college football
It's
game,
our schedule.
the most watched game one in the history, 16.6 million people. You start taking those numbers away, and ADs are going to be like,
That's what I'm about to say.
And they
The
gonna-
money,
they gonna
the
top it
money
next
is
year.
gonna fuel everything.
the money train.
But
Undefeated.
The players would love to play. At least the players that I've been around.
I love
know Jay Hills would have loved to play Ohio State.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Week 1. I know Rod would have loved to play Ohio State week 1 versus San.
No, but I love it.
Or
I think
whoever.
we
San
should
Jose,
keep it,
whoever.
but I just don't want it to end up being like
You
this
still
in
have
the
to
cup.
win. What
I
I'm
agree.
saying is, you
It's a gamble. If you win,
Right.
you hit the jackpot, baby.
Yeah.
You
Right.
got then you gonna start off
And let's go.
on the roll.
Yeah.
If you lose, okay, that's all right. But you got the
now
playoff.
you still get to hold.
Still got the conference and everything.
You
so
still got it.
I like it. I wouldn't get rid of it. Even
I wouldn't
I agree
either.
with Hicks.
I
It
wouldn't
does
either.
hurt. Can't lose. I would not get rid of it.
I wouldn't either.
think
But I
that-
do like
Wait
a
for
future
recruiting.
where 3-loss teams are getting in the playoff that have played tough schedules that because then it's a little more NFL.
They got Arch Manning, they get in. We lost team without Arch.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
luck.
money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Money behind that.
No, this was a good one. I like this episode. But
But also remember also that this thing happens like last night because they want people talking about college football. The debates, ESPN, all that, they want eyeballs.
Extra money. Extra money.
And we're feeding right into it.
We're one of the best fan bases to troll because
Oh,
we
100%.
get
We retaliate.
we get a day.
we give you the click.
They know that. Just
Like
troll to
I told you, everywhere I go around the country, they talk about y'all too much. Y'all in the news, like they want to know.
Not wrong.
Yep.
Like how did the whole playoff predictions come out and all anybody's talking about is Texas?
Texas, yeah.
And Texas ain't even playing in it.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's Texas and Notre Dame too, which are the two biggest brands there are.
yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. Imagine if you are Indiana right now. Nobody's saying a peep about it.
I know, and all they've done is
I know, and all
You did it.
Should they be number 1?
Nobody's fired up for Memphis and Georgia.
I'm looking at. I think Ohio State should be number 1. You won it all last year.
Yeah.
Ain't
So
look-
somebody dethroned you. You the king.
like think about
they haven't done
You
anything.
don't play
If
no
last year's
part.
If I'm Ohio State,
Year.
if I'm
No
Ohio
part.
State, if I'm Ohio
These
State,
rankings are not associated with the
They shouldn't be.
No,
but
I hear you.
They shouldn't be, but
I'm not gonna
I'm
argue.
just saying, why is Indiana maybe not 1?
because we think about last year.
Yeah, because of the rankings. This is our
Last year,
That's why, because I am thinking about that.
yeah, exactly right.
I'm thinking that since they lost to Michigan, they ain't turned back since.
Come on, man. They do look good.
They lost to Michigan,
Man,
Not-
that Michigan game's gonna be fun this year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. All right. Well, this was awesome. We will be back next week with our Georgia preview. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next week. Hook 'em.
Hook 'em.